The girls grew like corn after good rain, fast, full, bright. Favor walked first. Amarachi talked first. Nancy danced before she could crawl. Their laughter filled the compound. It was soft like bells, sweet like ripe mango. But one thing stayed the same. Red every day. Red wrapper, red blouse, red socks, red head tie. Even their school bags, red. They wore red to church, red to market, red to weddings, red to funerals, red when they were sick, red when they were well. And around their necks, the same white cowrie shining like the moon. People started talking. Why always red? Is it charm? Is she tying them to something? Maybe she made a vow with something in the forest. Some laughed. Some shook their heads. Some crossed the road when they saw the girls. But the girls didn't mind. They held hands when they walked. One on the left, one on the right, one in the middle, like three red flowers growing from the same stem. In school, teachers noticed. One teacher told Blessing, "Maybe try white next time for sports day." Blessing shook her head. "My children wear red." Another teacher said, "But they all look the same. You can't tell who is who." Blessing smiled. "That's how it's meant to be." She never explained, not once. One hot afternoon at the stream, the girls sat on a rock, their feet inside the water, their wrappers tied tight, their beads catching sunlight. Women were washing clothes. Children were splashing. Then one woman said loud enough for all to hear, "These ones look like spirits, too quiet, too clean, too red." Blessing stood up. She didn't say a word. She called her daughters with her eyes. They came. She held their hands. They walked away slowly, like shadows that didn't want to leave. From that day, the whispers grew louder, but so did the silence in Blessing's heart, because deep inside, she knew what no one else knew. The red was not for beauty. The red was not for show. It was for life. Years rolled by like river water. The girls were no longer little. Their voices deepened. Their legs grew longer. Their eyes began to see things they never noticed before. But the red stayed. Primary school passed, then secondary, now university, and still red. Red top, red skirt, red shoes, red scarf, red beads on their wrists, white cowrie still hanging on their necks like a whisper from the past. They didn't complain at first. They got used to people staring, used to the nicknames, Red Sisters, Blood Girls, Spirit Triplets. But inside, questions started to grow like weeds that refused to die. Sometimes at night, Favor would ask, "Mama, please, why must we always wear red?" Blessing would be washing plates or folding wrappers, her voice calm. "When the time comes, you will know." Amarachi asked once, "Can I at least wear pink? Just small pink." Mama Blessing didn't even turn her head. "When the time comes," Nancy tried to joke. "Mama, what if red finishes in the market? Will we stay naked?" Blessing just looked at her. Her eyes said everything. So they waited, but life doesn't wait. Favor got a call for a big job in the city, a multinational firm office on the 10th floor. She wore her best red dress and went for the interview. At the front desk, the lady looked up. "Sorry, Ma, you can't go in with that necklace. Dress code." Favor explained. "It's part of me. I've worn it all my life." They shook their heads. The interviewer didn't even let her finish. She came home and cried into her pillow. Blessing wiped her tears, but still said nothing. Nancy, the artist, got invited to an international art showcase. Big investors, big names. She painted all night, worked like fire was chasing her fingers. The day came. She wore her red dress, cowrie shining. The guests whispered. Some looked confused. One man stepped aside and spoke to her team. "This is insulting. In our culture, Red with cowrie is a burial color. It's offensive. They dropped her name from the list. She didn't come home that night, just sat by the river and watched the moon. Then came Amarachi, the one with the soft heart, the one who laughed the most. She met Kofi, a Ghanaian boy, tall, gentle, funny. He liked pepper soup and long walks. She liked his smile. They would sit under trees and talk about dreams, about love, about freedom. But each time he saw her red dress and the cowrie, his face would change small. One day after dinner, he held her hand. Amarachi, why do you always wear red in that shell? She looked away. It's how I was raised. He paused. You're beautiful, but it's strange. People talk. If we're going to be serious, maybe it's time to let it go. That night, Amarachi couldn't sleep. The question kept ringing in her head. Why? Why red? Why cowrie? Why silence? She whispered to the ceiling. Mama, when is the time? But the house stayed quiet. She sat in front of the mirror. Her fingers touched the cowrie. Her eyes stared at her red dress. She whispered again, what if I don't wear it tomorrow? Will anything happen? Maybe Mama is just making stories up. The following morning, she opened the drawer under her bed. Beneath wrappers, old notebooks, and a hidden bag, she found it. A navy blue dress. Simple, clean, new. She had bought it 2 years ago, just in case. She took off the red dress, removed the cowrie. Her neck felt light. Her skin looked strange, but her heart beat fast with excitement. She wore the blue dress, twirled in front of the mirror, and smiled. So this is what freedom looks like, she whispered. She opened the door. The sky outside was soft. The daylight breeze brushed her cheek. She stepped out. 1 step, 2 steps, 3, 4, 5. By the 10th step, her legs buckled. Her body jerked. She fell hard. Her hands hit the ground. Her mouth opened wide, but no sound came out. Her eyes rolled. Her fingers twisted like old rope. Her lips turned pale. Her body shook like a leaf in a storm. People screamed. Someone shouted, "Call her sisters!" Another ran for water. One man touched her forehead. "She's burning." Neighbors gathered. Shoes ran, mouths opened, eyes wide. But Amarachi didn't move. The hospital was bright, but the air inside was dark. Amarachi lay on the bed, eyes half open, mouth dry, body still. Machines beeped, wires pressed against her skin. Nurses moved around. Doctors checked charts, pressed her chest, shone light into her eyes, but nothing worked. One doctor pulled off his gloves. He shook his head. "We've run all the tests. Her body is fine. No sickness, no injury, no explanation." Another doctor whispered, "Medically, she's not dying, but something is pulling her away." Outside the room, Favor and Nancy arrived. Their slippers slapped the floor. Their eyes red. They pushed through. Nurses entered the room. "Mama!" Nancy cried. "What happened? What happened to Amarachi?" Blessing stood beside the bed. Her wrapper was plain, her feet bare. Her eyes locked on her daughter. Amarachi's fingers twitched. The machine beeped again. Beep, beep, beep. Then silence. The line on the screen turned flat. One long sound. Beep. Amarachi was gone. Nancy fell to the floor. Favor grabbed the bed and screamed. The sound broke the room in two. One nurse covered her mouth. Another stepped outside. Blessing did not cry. She didn't kneel. She didn't shake. She looked at her daughter's face. Peaceful, like she had gone to sleep under a tree. Then Blessing said softly, "You're free now." Favor turned sharply. "What?" Nancy stood up slowly. "Mama, what are you saying?" Favor screamed. "We just lost our sister and you're saying she's free?" Blessing looked at them. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were heavy with years. "She was the gate," she said. The herbalist told me. What gate? Nancy asked, confused. Blessing exhaled, as if she had waited decades for this moment. When I gave birth to you three, I went back to the herbalist, she began. He congratulated me, but then he said something that I never told you. The girls stared. Blessing continued. He said one of you would be the first to remove the necklace, the first to stop the red, and when she does, she will die. But in doing so, the others will be freed. They stood in silence. I didn't know who it would be, Blessing continued. I prayed it wouldn't happen, but it has. And now the bond is broken. Favor dropped to the floor. So she was the sacrifice. Nancy clutched her necklace. We lost her to gain freedom. Blessing nodded, eyes wet. She set you both free. They buried Amarachi the next day. From that day forward, the red dresses disappeared. The cowries were placed in a wooden box, sealed shut, and kept at the foot of Blessing's bed. Favor began wearing jeans and blouses. Nancy dyed her hair golden brown. Life returned to them slowly, but the scar of Amarachi's death never faded. Each year on the day of her death, they wore red from head to toe, not as a curse, but as a remembrance for the sister who paid the price and gave them back. They wore red from head to toe, not as a curse, but as a remembrance for the sister who paid the price and gave them back their lives. Thank you for watching African Tales Point, where every story carries a message. Remember, every story has a reason, and every lesson has a voice. Until next time, keep listening, because the next African tale may change everything.